as promised, I'm going to show you how I strap on. On another video, I'll talk about different leg braces and why I've ended up with the blue rocker and the way in which I've ended up with it. But for now, just know that I took the original blue rocker and cut the heck out of it to make it this. Super easy and super light. But I want to go over a little more in detail what I do to strap on. And honestly, this time in my life, it does take a lot of energy to strap on. Of course, once I'm on, then I can walk. It's a good thing. So there's a few different pieces. There's a cut-up cutlet. This is the one that's going to go under my toes. There is this one, which is actually, women, as you know, they now have sticky cutlets. This one's actually really super helpful because it's sticky, and this is the one that will go here on my ankle, okay? And then there's just your regular cutlet, size D, just in case you want to, which goes up here. And by the way, I used to have different types of padding that I would use on the brace itself. I would actually put padding on the brace, and I would get these really like thick skin kind of response over time. When I started using the silicone, it actually healed all of that. So this is old scars basically from before I realized that, and then ever since I started using silicone, it softened up, the skin is much happier, it takes the brunt of things way better. So, the other part, two other parts. This is a compression boot sock. It's actually quite lightweight. I know it's black, but it's quite lightweight, and it's supposed to include copper. I don't know if that's helpful or not, but why not, right? And then the third, or the, what is this, 6 pieces? I don't know. This is one of the Ace bandages. I get this on Amazon. What's important is that it has a Velcro right here. Doesn't matter about this Velcro right here, by the way. That doesn't matter. Just this right here. Black, I like black because it all goes together. So what we're gonna do is strap on. And oh, by the way, I'm gonna use this one, and ladies, just so you know, this boot I adore. It is microfiber, and so it stretches really well. It manages to stick with me through the day, and goes over my knee. So if I want to go out on a date or something with my husband, it works out pretty well. Or if I'm just wearing leg jeans or whatever, I'll just fold it down. Oh, one other piece. What's that? Oh, this is the doTERRA. This is doTERRA Deep Blue. There's a version also through Young Life oils. Obviously, I don't get anything for saying this, but this one I like a lot. It does have a bit of a menthol smell to it, but it's not nearly as bad as like an icy hot, and it lasts all day long, and it really helps with that horrible yucky hot feeling. So I use a lot, and I put it like especially under the bottom part, partly because it helps put the legs on, or I'm sorry, the socks on, but also it sort of like soaks into the boot socks and keeps my feet relatively cool during the day. So let's see, here's one of these suckers. So we all have these hammer toes, right? Not in a million years would I let somebody do surgery and put pins in my toes. Not in a million years. Instead, I take this silicone, put it underneath, take my sock. I don't care that this stuff is on my sock or on my hand because it'll come off of my sock as I put it on, which in the end it works out well. How you put it on makes a big difference, especially if your hands are bad like mine. It does take some spoons to do this. If you haven't, please Google the spoon theory. It's amazing. It does a way better job than I ever could. So the first part is putting the sock on properly. I managed to get that little cutlet under my toes. I'm pulling the sock all the way up and getting it right. I'm getting that little cutlet right, making sure it's right under where it needs to be. It's not gonna move because these are so tight. But the problem is, how do I get the other things in without like losing it? Here's what I do. Everything is an adaptation. So I take the top of the sock, move it all the way down so it's folded, move it again down so it's folded twice. Then this is one of the cutlets. Now this is a thinner one. Lately they have ones that have some stickiness to them, which is actually quite helpful because it helps hold on while you're trying to get this ridiculous sock over here. Like, it's kind of like a practice thing. You do things a few times and eventually your hands kind of remember what to do. So see how I tucked it under there? Well, this is much easier. Sorry, there we go. Where's the first fold? There we go. So I find that fold and pull it up so much easier than trying to jam that sucker down, right? Second fold, no problem. Boom, done. This is a size D cutlet, by the way. You used to be able to get these at department stores, but now you actually have to go on Amazon or Wish.com or whatever. So I look right here. Oh, hey, that's where the leg goes. Right here. Okay. So I put it right there, and because these socks are compression socks, they hold it together. I used to put like all kinds of stuff on here and try to pad the sucker, pad this sucker, my orthotist did. It never ever was enough. It wasn't enough for me to like feel comfortable and confident, like if I stepped on a rock or a cobblestone street or something like that rolling ankle thing. It just was never enough. And I tried everything from like inserts for women's heels and high heels to I actually would like duct tape lamb's wool. And actually lamb's wool worked pretty well, but over time lamb's wool, it loses its spring. Eventually I figured out about, oh, silicone. All right, so I'm good to go. That's it. Now one of the things about these these shoes is that it's open here, so it's pretty easy for me to like grab in the back. And a couple of people asked if I wear insoles underneath my arches. I've never found in 25 years that I needed that. I really haven't. Did you see that while I was talking? Just slipped in. Because you have the smoothness of the brace and the smoothness of the compression socks. And then zip that sucker up. Now here's the important part, is how do I attach it, right? So instead of all this bulky stuff that comes with it, I have this base bandage, and this I get on Amazon. The important part is that it has the Velcro on this part. I don't care about this part. Velcro doesn't matter. It's this Velcro that matters. The way that I make it work, and occasionally during the day I might have to readjust, it might slip a little bit, but generally it doesn't because of the amount of pressure. And also as the day goes on and as the pressure here starts to become unbearable, I can adjust it. So take the end of it and put it right on the boot sock, right there. And I know that the pressure of this with the boot sock, a little bit up, see there's a little bit there, is gonna hold it. And then I pull it as much as I feel comfortable, the elasticity of it. 2 or 3 times it should, well, 3 or 4 times maybe. What's that? 1, 2, 3. And the thing about the Velcro is it doesn't matter about this part, it's gonna stick. Boom, sticks. Boom, done, done and done. And if I'm wearing boots, or I'm sorry, jeans, I'll just do this and tie this. Now you can see my hands that these things are not easy for me anymore, but it's still doable. And there you go, done and done. So, I hope that helps. So much more to tell you about life hacks for CMT, but this is just one of them, which is, you know what, go with your gut. You know way more than they'll ever know, than the doctors, even your family, the people who love you most. You're the one who's got to deal with this, and you're gonna figure out ways to make it work for you. Of course, what works for me isn't necessarily going to work for everybody else, but if you trust yourself, you're going to find solutions you didn't know existed. Just one little thing was, years ago, gosh, back when I could still do housework and laundry and stuff, we had this old house, and I would have like a basket of laundry carrying it upstairs, and I would start to get that shaky feeling, like, oh my God, like I'm going to fall, right? Don't ever fall. Don't ever fall. Oh, I'm going to fall. And here's the simplest thing. It was so simple and immediately worked. I just said to myself in my head, yes, 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 yes. And I would go from being like shaky and afraid and really, if you're in that place, like you're gonna cause a problem, to with each step, yes, 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 yes. And I would get up and whew, like hold on to a wall and be like, okay, we did it. But that's something that I've used more times than I can count to get through life. This disease is about getting through life, and you have the ability to figure out the way that you can best adapt and get through life. So I hope that was helpful. Obviously, put your comments below. I'll do my best to answer as best I can, and I'll see you next time. Oh,
hi.
There's my baby boy. He's been filming. Have a good night.